Hey there, sheepdoggers, and welcome to Sheepdog's unfair review of Banished. I'm slightly hesitant to do an unfair review of Banished, just purely because I'm gonna have to be quite harsh to it. And I don't particularly have a problem with the game. It's not done. I don't feel that everything's there that needs to be there. As far as I can tell, it's not early access, but it feels like early access. There's so let's just go in and we'll do the options first. Game, edge scrolling, clip mouse, Celsius temperatures, etc., etc. You know, it's kind of fairly standard stuff all round. There you go. Everything basically there. It's got tutorials: getting started, survival, food production, trade. Not that in depth, but there is a reason for that. Medium, fair. You know, you've got disasters and starting conditions. Easy, medium, hard. Yeah, it's all there. You go. And we'll go into the game and I'll start talking about what I mean, basically. And what I mean is it's bare bones, you know? I mean, the game has all the backbone, It's got all the backbone. It's got the things needed for a game of this style. But it's just bereft of. I don't even know how to explain it, really. It's just kind of. There we go. So you need to build houses and roads and all these things. How did it do that? How the bloody hell did I do that? I don't know. So yeah, you basically you build houses and you start kind of putting this together. You start making farms and all these things. Let's make a farm. Let's say about here. Big farm. And yeah, you know, it doesn't look bad, and it's, you know. But the problem I encountered with this game is that there's nothing new. There's nothing really to keep you engaged past the initial, like, yeah, you know. It's kind of, it's almost like a survival game to begin with, a survival kind of simulation game, strategy simulation town game thing. You know, you start off with these few people and you got weather condition, but it's all. This is the reason I don't want to do it, because it's really hard to voice my opinions about why it just doesn't feel right. Like it's got the core mechanics needed in a game like this, you know, kind of town city style building. You know, it's kind of set in the, well, whatever era it's set in. You got blacksmiths, you've got things like that. And you know, you set up, it's kind of, it puts me in mind of Settlers and you know, other games similar to that, which, you know, great, really, because I loved Settlers, but it doesn't feel like it's gone anywhere. You know, it hasn't taken things any further than where Settlers was years and years ago. You know, you've got these things you can build, you know, stockpile and market and trading post and hospitals and stuff, but aside from the achievements, there's no objectives, there's There's no guide to what you want to do, so you just build. And that's all you do. And, you know, I don't like games that hold your hand and go, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this. You know, like, kind of, you know, just a straight rail path. But for the start, there's no real objective to this game, you know. You just build and keep building because you have to build. And it just doesn't really feel right to my mind. It doesn't. You know, you just. I get a farm because I need food, and I get fishing docks for food, and you know there's the gatherer's hut and the herbalist for health, but the thing is you don't really feel that involved with these guys. I mean, his name's Armand, there's his health, his age is 1, clothing, tool, job, child, educated, happiness, gender, you know, inventory and all that. But it feels like there's supposed to be more here. You know, like these guys are just little ants. They've got no personality. There's no difference between any of them. They can all do whatever job they want. You know, you've got these different bits and pieces. You've got the map, you got the event log, and you know, it will say like so and so has died and job has been taken over. But I mean, I wanted to like this game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying I don't particularly like it. Just purely because there's no substance to the game. There's no character for me. You know, that I think that is the point here for me, is there's no character to this game. I feel, you know, looking at it like this, I think, it looks alright. You know, I'm not one to care about graphics or anything, so that's fine. You know, and it's got these seasons, but like it starts raining for a bit and then it stops raining. It'll snow in the winter, but I'm just like, I don't care about any of that stuff because it doesn't seem to particularly matter that much. You know, it really is like it'll start raining and I'm like, it's raining. All that does is create a little bit of noise, make things a little harder to see when you're zoomed out. You know, when it's snowing, it looks kind of cool, but it goes pretty quickly. You know, it's like, and it just seems like there's so much more that needs to be added to this. You know, I don't know whether there's going to be constant updates. People were saying to me, you know, it would be great with mods, but I always say, you know, a game that has to be entertaining with mods is not a, you know, I can't let a game stand on its mods. You know, there are games out there that are fun and even more fun with mods. For example, Mountain Blade. You know, the vanilla Mountain Blade is fun, and then, you know, after a while you can go off and check out more mods. And, you know, with this, yes, you know, adding loads of stuff in with a mod, you know, someone puts a lot of work in, but that doesn't change the fact that the core bone of the gameplay, you know, the game by itself is not that fun. You know, and I'm sure I'll get people disagreeing with me and, you know, saying they get, like, if you get entertainment out of it, great, you know, that's brilliant. But again, you know, this is an unfair review. This is my unfair review, and I'm saying it doesn't have enough. You know, it doesn't seem to attempt to provide you with all the fleshed out details. You know, this is if this was early access, just been released in early access, you know, this would be a great, because I'd say there's so much room for improvement. You know, there's so much they can add and they can put in. But yeah, no, you know, like I'd love to see a lot more information and, you know, people having their own skills and, you know, but the thing is it takes quite a while to build things, and if you speed up, you actually just burn through the time so quickly, it's ridiculous. Cabbages, because lots of people want farting. So yeah, you just, I when I play this game, I feel completely disconnected from what's going on. You know, I don't feel involved. I don't feel like I'm getting to know the people, because they'll just die. You know, there's no feeling of Oh yeah, there's farmers needed. There's no real feeling for me of, you know, yeah, this is going somewhere. You know, it's going to be... let's put this over here somewhere. Yeah, there's no feeling of achievement or... You know, I mean, there are achievements, and, you know, getting 300 people might be something to aim for, you know, for people who already think, oh, this is quite a good game. You know, who can be entertained. But for me, it's just... It's already kind of bereft of anything. You know, I've started, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know, this is all I'm going to be doing, is sitting around, occasionally building things, and just, you know... waiting for the next thing to be built, and then going to build the next thing and waiting for that to be built, and you know, oh look, I need another house. And you know, I sat in the last one, in my last kind of, when I was streaming it, someone said to me, you have to build houses to get more population, so you don't respond to a population surplus with more houses. You build more houses and then you get more population with those houses. You know, people don't move in and have more kids until you build more houses. They just sit about slowly withering. And yeah, you know, at the end of the day, this feels like it should be a really, you know, a really kind of big, like, look at this, like, so much space to build in, and you know, and so on and so forth. And it feels like there's more to come. I just don't know what exactly is the more to come. I honestly can't say where they're going with this, or what their kind of, what their intentions with this is. And now you see, you know, the reserve of food is low because got people eating, and then people will starve, and yeah, it's... But the thing is that there are times when it will say the reserve of stone is low, and then the stone will disappear, and because there's no stone, the whole reserve of stone notification will disappear. So I'll end up with no idea that I don't have any stone. And here you see, you know, we're doing fields, and I can put a fishery thing up here if I want. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is at the end of the day. And to my mind, it's just it's not enough. There's not enough detail. There's not enough fleshed out. There's just too little. At the end of the day, there's just too little. And while it's not a bad game, it's not a bad idea. This has been done before. You know, so unless you really like the look of it, you like the style, you know, you've been looking for basically a really kind of... If you've been looking for a game like this, but just haven't played one, and suddenly decide, actually, I want to play this one for no apparent reason, you know, go for it. But, you know, if you're looking for something new, something that hasn't been done, you know, not done to death, but something that hasn't been done extensively, you know, this is basically a graphically updated version of the Settlers at the moment, but with less features than the Settlers, you know, with less objectives, with less, you know, basically all you're going to do the tutorial if you want, you know, if you feel you need to. You're going to get into the game, get plonked down like this, and after a while, you know, unless you really enjoy this kind of thing, you're going to be bored. I mean, really, I'm bored right now. You know, I can see how it's all going to play out, you know, whether I kind of, my guys starve to death or not. I mean, you know, it says reserve of logs is low, and finally I got some cabbages in, but before it was empty. There were no food left, but they didn't say anything about it because, you know, yeah. And I'm sure people will die, and it will be difficult. I mean, I had a typhoon drop down, turn up, and like bash my village to pieces. So I gave up. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's not bad. There is nothing about it that's actually bad, really. There's no giant bugs I've encountered. There's no, you know, they haven't been lazy in any aspect, really, aside from they haven't done the aforementioned details of the game. You know, I mean, if they'd have gone, right, you know, we're going to go into real detail about all these civilians and, you know, what skills they have and, you know, but yeah, the time moves so quickly. You can see it's already winter. It just feels like you're being, you know, kind of pulled along this massive kind of this really long timeline, and things are moving at a really like increased speed, but at the same time there's nothing to kind of to go for, you know. There's no new technologies to unlock. There's no one out there you're gonna fight or discover, or there's no discovery. There's nothing special about any of it. It's just literally that. This is what it is. So yeah, there you go. That's and yeah. You know, you can see all the things you can do is all of this here already. You know, pubs and mines and tailors, and it's got a few like little interesting things like blacksmith to make tools, but then again that's already been done. You know, tailor to repair clothes, to keep making clothes. You know, so people stay warm, and got the woodcutter to make firewood. The herbalist, basically, but it's all, you know, all you have to do is plonk down the herbalist, you know, in a decent area, make sure there's people working there, and then that's done. There's no real involvement as far as I can see. Yeah, it's just a balancing act, you know, making sure you have enough food for how many people you have, then getting a few more people, then making sure you have a blacksmith and a tailor to provide tools and clothes for, and it just goes on like that, you know. I mean, if there had been, yeah, someone's become an adult, started working as a labourer, hooray, hurrah. Yeah, there's no real anything. I don't know. Like, I have a feeling people are going to get upset with this unfair review. Part of the reason I didn't particularly want to do it is because I understand if someone's like a fanboy of, you know, games like Nether or whatever, and they defend it to the death, and they just have a go at me. But I just don't particularly want to have to do the, you know, to do the whole responding to people's argument of things like, well, you know, blah blah blah. This is what I like, or this is how the game is. Because, you know, this is an unfair review. This is my opinion, and my opinion is this. You know, it's just not really. It doesn't have much to it. And you can say all you like about, you know, you've played the game for a while and you really enjoyed it, or whatever. But at the end of the day, you can't argue with me on this fact, really, that there's not much to it. If you enjoy what there is, great, perfect, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with you on that point. You know, if I'm not saying it, as I said, I'm not saying it's a bad game. It does just literally feel like there's nothing to it. You know, there's not much content. There's no innovation at all. You know, there's nothing special about this game, and there's nothing because this style of game has been done before and lots of times. It either feels like a kind of nostalgia trip, or, you know, it just feels like it could have done, you know, they could have put so much more into it. So yeah, end of the unfair review here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video and etc. And I'll see you in the next one. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been going very long. There's not much to show off, really, because, you know, if I showed off like all of the different buildings and stuff when you got the game yourself, it would already be ruined. There'd be fuck all for you to do, because that is building up the place. So yeah, I'm gonna say my own personal opinion, my own unfair review opinion. There's no reason to buy this game. I'm sorry, but there really is no reason to buy this game. Everything it is has been done before. It does nothing new, and there's not much to it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I hope you don't hate me too much for bashing this game a little, and I'll see you in the next one.